Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Good Life Mindful Mondays with Iya Kemi. Hello, hello. I hope everyone had a great weekend and a great 2 weeks since we last spoke with one another. I see some familiar names here on the Zoom chat, and welcome Facebook land because I know we are live in Facebook as well. This is Iya Kemi, and normally how we start today's session and any session, we set the intention for why we are here and why we are coming together, so that energy can vibrate throughout our week and weeks until we see each other again. For we know that words have a vibration, and I normally deal with sound and vibration and mindfulness. So today's word in the space is self-love. So welcome to the space. I see Miss Adams here. I see Miss Phyllis. I see Miss Nicholson, Miss Gloria, and Miss Taylor. I appreciate you guys being present today. If you would like to say your word for the space and for the group today and the intent, you can either type it in the chat or you can say it and introduce yourself to the group and the space that we are in today. Let's see, and we also have Miss Benton who has joined us as well. So if you want to turn your cameras on so we can see each other. And again, if you want to share the word that you would like to put in the space today that connects with self-love. Go ahead, Miss Adams.
Promise.
What is your word that you would like to put in the space?
Promise.
Promise. Okay, so we have self-love, promise. I love that. Self-love and promise.
Or dedication.
I'm sorry?
Or dedication.
Dedication and promise, both of those are good. I love both of those. So we have self-love, dedication, and promise. Did anyone else? Miss Phyllis?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Ooh, that's always a good one to have. Acceptance is definitely needed when it comes to self-love. Anyone else want to share a word that they want to put in the space that is in regards to self-love? I love that. We give thanks and praise for your mother, and we put the word honor in the space. Honor. I love that. So that was put in the chat room. So self-love, dedication, promise, acceptance, and honor. And happy birthday, Mom. Gotta celebrate life. That is part of the self-love. If there's not anyone else that wants to share, we can do a bit of a review of last week where we talked about the rebirth. And we took a journey into our inner child self and remembering things that we experienced, the childlike fun, you know, the simple things in life so that we can let go of the trauma. Oftentimes we tell ourselves the same story. Oh, my mom was this way. Oh, my dad was that way. Or Uncle Joe and Auntie May, they were all this way. And so I'm that way too. And we forget the simple things like playing with the jacks and playing with jump ropes and hula hoops or running through the park and swinging on a swing. And oftentimes when we tap into that inner child, that is a rebirth of ourselves. We allow ourselves to play again on this playground. So I felt it being a beautiful thing to come back to self-love after we have rebirthed this part of ourselves. Oftentimes we don't take the time to do that. So in today's mindfulness, in what ways do we show ourselves self-love? It could be simple things like how we talk to ourselves throughout the day. Have you ever had that moment in time where you say, you did that, you made that happen? We have to congratulate ourselves more. We have to honor ourselves more. And even if we don't keep the promise of whatever we dedicated ourselves to do, we have to accept that part and still love on that aspect of ourselves. So in utilizing the words that we put in this space, how can we show ourselves this self-love and this dedication to self? You showing up today, that is self-love. That is dedication. That is a promise that you made to yourself and honored yourself to be present in this moment. So that is something that you can give yourself a clap, a hand on the back, a pat on the back, and acknowledge those small things. It is in those small things that allows you to be in the moment. So with that today, I'm gonna do a bit of a journey. I'm gonna play sound because I found that there is certain sounds that I can utilize and play that are still heard. So in this mindful moment of self-love, looking at the ways that you've loved on yourself up until this 1 o'clock meeting today, did you have your cup of coffee, your cup of water? Did you take a shower? Did you not take a shower and said, I just want to relax today and I'll take a shower later? Whatever that is, you chose to do that for yourself in this moment, in the now. So if you can make sure that your mics are muted, because when I play, I want to make sure that you can hear all of the sounds. And we have someone that added the word gentleness in the space of self-love. That is amazing to add in that space, because sometimes we are hard on ourselves and say, I said I wasn't going to have coffee today, or I said I was going to do this today, and it's 1 o'clock and I haven't done it today. But being gentle and saying, you know what, there's still time in the day today to do what I said I would do, is being gentle with yourself and accepting that, okay, you've allowed a few hours to go by, and that's okay. You might have needed that time to sit still and be in your space. So as we go into this meditation of self-love, you can resonate with the word that you shared in the space. You can take yourself on a journey and into your inner child moments, the good parts, the beautiful parts, the loving parts. And if anything does come up during this journey for the next 10 minutes, that's okay. Acknowledge it, accept it, so that we can move forward to the self-love of that being a part of the journey that made you into the beautiful being that you are today. Are there any questions or shares that anybody has prior to me going into this meditation? I think everyone is on one accord. So if you don't mind, there will be some sound again, so do not be alarmed. I would only guide you into the meditation, but I will not be talking until it's time for you to come out of the meditation. So again, allow yourself to tap into the breath at your pace, allowing the breath to go below your heart at the pace that you can and the depth that you can go into. And keep that pace in this journey. On a count of 3, you'll do your inhalation. 1, 2, and 3. As you inhale and exhale, place one hand over your heart and the other hand on your belly. As you are doing this, chant to yourself, I am love, 3 times. After you have chanted that 3 times, I am worthy. After saying I am love and I am worthy, I accept and promise to love myself. I accept and promise to love myself. I am dedicated to being gentle. Say it 3 times. I am dedicated to being gentle. Lastly, I am gentle 3 times. See how this energy sits in your body, how it feels. Smile. Are you smiling? Are you tense? Breathe into those areas that are tense. Smile on those areas that may be tense. I am love. I am worthy. I am gentle. I accept and promise to love myself. I am dedicated to being gentle. I am love. Allow the sound, the vibration of the words that you have chanted to settle in. As you are loving on yourself in this moment, to take the time out to tap in and affirm yourself. This is an act of self-love. Whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes if your eyes are closed. And get a sip of water. And I would love to share the process of what you heard with the sounds. The initial sound was the sound of the drum, which is the sound and the beat of a heart. But it also had tribalness to bring in the energy of the ancestors who are always with us and supporting us. I then allowed the air, the wind to come in with the wind chimes to clear any energy, to bring any lightheartedness to the space, to remove any unease of trying to get settled in the space. And then we had the sound of the ocean and ended with the sound of wind chimes. These elements in nature assist us, but we fail to be mindful of how they assist us in our healing and in our peace of mind. The ocean is very vast. It has various colors and it connects to all continents. Just like our body is majority water, and the water connects to all of our organs in our body. To connect with the ocean sound is to let go, and it's also to be meditative. Most people are calm and relaxed when they hear the sound of the ocean. Some people are reminded of childlike things when they hear the sound of the wind chimes. It reminds them of childlike fun or summer days or nice breezy days. So I'm curious and interested to hear how those sounds affected you and assisted you in your journey of self-love and reflecting on your inner child if you went to your inner child, or if you used one of the words that you put into the space. I personally felt the ability of everyone coming into their own time and space of self-love. It may have been challenging in the first minutes with the drum beating or the energy around your space. But whatever it is, please feel free to share. Ms. Benton, pleasure seeing your face. I think you're muted, so let me get you to unmute.
I was a little busy, so I'm just getting started. But when you said self-love, first I kept thinking about maintaining, maintaining whatever, maintaining your beauty, your body on a consistent basis. That's about self-love. When you do that to yourself, it means you love yourself.
Indeed, I love that self-maintenance. Self-maintenance, we definitely have to do that. It's not just about beauty. It's definitely, go ahead.
All of the different, the drums, first drums, I thought about Africa. Then it moved a little bit, and I thought about the Indians, and then naturally the oceans. Always running on the beach in the ocean. It's always wonderful too.
Well, thank you for sharing the drum pattern and how it took you to Africa, and then it took you to the native Indians and how you saw yourself running on the beach. That is all amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? Ms. Adams?
Sure. The drums reminded me of Indians as well. And I was pacing, I was walking, I was just relaxing. And then came the chimes, and that helped me just to sit on the park bench and just relax and be calm. And then the next sound, I wasn't sure what I was hearing. I thought it was water, but I wasn't sure. So I said, in this element, I just have to accept. And that's the other acceptance word that we had.
Yes.
And so then I got back into the chimes of just total relaxation and movement from one place to the other, from one mental note to the other, just being calm.
I love it. I love how you shared how the drums had you walking, and then you were calm and breezy with the wind chimes, and even with the ocean drum, not knowing that that was the sound of ocean, you still were able to connect to water and include the word that we had in the space today of acceptance.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people are feeling like they're on this cork board on the ocean about to drown, but not realizing that cork never sinks.
Mm-hmm.
Cork never sinks. So it's just a matter of allowing yourself to go with the waves, go with the flow. So I appreciate you sharing that you allowed yourself to go in that place of acceptance. That's really, really big. Thank you, Ms. Adams. Is there any else one that would like to share? I think Ms. Nicholson, you're off mute. Did you want to share today?
This is my first time doing this meditation. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, was totally relaxed doing the ocean. I just love the water anyway. and it will relax me. But also I am I really emphasize really trying to stay in good health. I think if you're healthy, everything else fall into place.
Indeed.
All of your instruments that you had today, the drums, the chimes, and the ocean, it fits in because there is no pain. So that part of it, I had my eyes closed and I was really trying to keep my mind focused. Sometimes I have a tendency in trying to meditate. That's my most difficult part, is that my mind will wander. So I'm trying to keep that focus there. And today it really stayed in line with your drums, your chimes, and the ocean. And thanks so much.
Thank you, Ms. Nicholson, for sharing. I'm so glad that you were able to focus during the sound meditation, even though you've had struggles before with your mind wandering. That's the beautiful thing about mindfulness and meditation, is that you are aware that your mind did go places. And most people think that you're supposed to be quiet and still, and that's not always true. So I really appreciate that you shared that you were able to actually allow your mind to rest and give yourself that self-love. So thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. And Miss Gloria, I think we have you. Your hand is raised.
Can you hear me?
I definitely can, Miss Gloria.
Okay. I was kind of surprised because the beginning with the drumming, it was kind of startling to me for some reason. So I let it pass. I enjoyed the wind chimes. I especially enjoyed the water because I'm a moon water person. I love it. And then I started thinking about sounds that I like I have the bell, and I like the sound of the bell. And then I started thinking about, I'm a wind instrument person, and my favorite sound is the saxophone. And so I just kept bringing myself back and just tried to listen to the sound. But I was really surprised about the beginning. It was kind of, it took me a little while to relax, and I'm not sure why.
So sometimes what I find with the drum, it could be linked to some type of post-traumatic stress that is unknown and unseen. And it could also be something ancestral. And it may take time because, again, that's how it kind of started off abruptly with the heart chakra. And the heart chakra, especially if you've dealt with heartache, heartbreaks, or you're dealing with a heart situation, then it can also have some unsettled energy. So I definitely will take that into account as I do sound in the future. So thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome. It's not that I don't like drums. I love like taiko drums, that resonant, that boom, that sound like that. But it was something about that particular drum sound that I don't know. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Again, it all matters in time and space. So I appreciate you for sharing your experience. Thank you so much. And I love the sax too. That's one of my favorite wind instruments as well. I definitely love it. So thank you for sharing that as well.
I also had competition because the staff was outside my room vacuuming.
Well, that will be an interruption as well, but I'm glad you were able to tune it out and tune in. Miss Phyllis, I see that you're unmuted.
Yeah, for me, it was a couple things. They're doing work on my street outside, so I found that I was competing with trying to figure out what was acceptable and what wasn't. The drums for me was a little triggering. But then when you made the analogy of kind of in reference to the ancestors and like a heartbeat, it made sense. But initially it was triggered. It's interesting because 2 out of the 4 sounds to me were, I want to say maybe even annoying. And that was, it's interesting. I'm a water person and I love the sound of the ocean, but I didn't get that. I found the sound of, I didn't know that was the ocean. I found it to be very, I think because I didn't know, it agitated me. I didn't know what that was. And I was surprised when you said that was the ocean. I was like, how did I don't know what I was listening to, but I felt something jarring, something, I don't know. Maybe I couldn't distinguish between what was going on outside and with what's going on inside. The wind chimes was very calming to me. It always has been. I don't think I've ever been around a wind chime that it wasn't, and it always to me represents the wind, the lightness, the airiness. And so, for me, it was just interesting how each sound affected me in a different way. And the sound that I would have thought that would have affected me the most, because I am very receptive to water. It always, I bought tapes that had rain, storm, thunder, water, because I love the sound of water, no matter whether it's fast, slow, loud, silent. I'm very affected by it. But this one, I was affected in a very negative way, mainly because I didn't know that was the ocean. I didn't pick that up at all. I was like, what is that? Is it something grinding, or I was more agitated by it.
Okay.
The drums kind of almost brought up almost like a warrior, but not in a negative sense.
Okay.
Not in a fighting sense, but more in a pay attention, be alert, be active, nothing negative about it, just more aware, which is a lot of times I don't tend to be aware. I tend to kind of blend in. So for me, I had to really listen to, once it got less, it became softer. Just when I was starting to, I think, kind of go up, then it changed its tone and it got softer, and then it became manageable. So
Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate you sharing again, because technology has definitely an effect on how things are audible. That is one thing. And then two, you being transparent and sharing how the water or the sound of the water affected you, in a sense that what I see too is that you may be growing or letting go of particular emotions, because the ocean is linked to the emotional self. So sometimes the agitation and things of that nature could just be triggering something that you're in the process of letting go. So I appreciate you even sharing that as well, because as you see, everyone had a different effect to each instrument and a different perspective. And that's why I love when we come together in groups and do this, so that we can all learn from one another, or I can learn and grow, because even though I'm teaching the class, I'm still learning and growing with you individuals as well. I think we have one last person, and I'm Miss Taylor. I'm not too sure if you're in the space to share or not share, but I definitely would love to hear if you are able to share, but you may be in a space that you aren't. What I do also want to bring attention to, until we are able to see if she's able to share, is how did the affirmations and placing your hand on your heart and your belly, how did that work and go for you? Was there any tension that you felt in your body? I see a thumbs up for one person.
This is Gloria. It seemed to ground me. And it took me, I guess, maybe where the sounds were supposed to take me. And the affirmations was very calming. And it was helpful.
Good. Well, I will definitely be sure to put them in the chat as well as a follow-up email, because those are affirmations that you can do with yourself every day. It's just as well as placing your hand over your heart and your other hand over your womb. I prefer to put the left hand over my womb because that is my feminine energy. So I like to put my left hand over my womb or my stomach area right above my navel or on my navel, and the other on my chest or on my heart. In doing this, it's kind of like you're holding space for yourself, you're grounding yourself, and you are affirming yourself. Because most of us we're either heady people and we're always in our heads and we don't allow ourselves to feel, whether from the heart because of heartache and heartbreak, or we're trying to protect our hearts. And then the belly is where we get that gut feeling, or your emotional self is in this belly area. Everything is created from this area as well when you think of a mother carrying a child in this space. I think of food being digested in this space. So to hold this area, it brings a grounding and a affirmation to self. And if we understand the words I am, they are very powerful, powerful words. Just to say I am. And holding these two areas is powerful and can ground you just by saying I am. I am that I am. There's nothing else that really needs to be said. However, when we're in a time of forgetting or low vibrational energy, depression, fear, doubt, anxiety, insecurities, this is an exercise that you can utilize to bring yourself back to the now, to where you are now. So if you are saying you're fearful or something, or you have anxiety, you change that around and say, I am love. I am peace. I am calm. I am maintaining. That I am is saying that you are embodying those words, that you are embodying that energy. Because again, you are a vibrational being. You are made in the likeness and the image of this energy that is in you. So in doing that, you're giving yourself the power versus saying, I am tired. I am, I am weak. No, I am strong. It's okay to be tired, but I am energy. And I allow myself to rest. I accept that I need to rest right now, because sometimes we get to going, and we forget to have this moment of self-love. And rest is self-love. Taking a nap in the middle of the day, that's self-love. Taking a pause to say, I don't want to watch TV, or no, I don't want to answer that call today because I don't feel like hearing this person keep going. I don't want to hear that today. So I'm dedicated to myself today. Those are things of self-love. So I definitely implore you to incorporate these affirmations and this holding of the space for yourself to reclaim your power. Because oftentimes we give our power away to these corporations, these jobs, these doctors, old friends, parents, old past energy that has already happened. And we have to reclaim where we are now. So even saying I am present, because you are a present to somebody, you are a gift to somebody. So to know that I am present in the now allows my presence to be a gift. So affirm yourself in this as knowing that that is self-love. Because again, in relationships, we give up our power. Oh, I love them. They're my everything. No, we have to claim that back and love on ourselves and be dedicated to ourselves, just as we were dedicated in those relationships, friendships, or romantic ships, whatever they may have been, even with our parents. I am love. I was made out of love. I was conceived in love. or not, but you're still loved because you're here. God is love. We are love. Life is love. So I definitely implore you to take the time to do that. And if you have to take your space to playing wind chimes online because it takes you to a lighthearted space, incorporate that just for 5 to 10 minutes a day. Incorporate doing even these affirmations, maybe in the mirror if you have a hard time looking at yourself in the mirror. Maybe have a mirror and just say, I am love, and look in your eyes. That is a form of self-love. Because I'm sure as myself, I have had times where I did not want to look in the mirror because I may have been disappointed in myself. And I have to turn around and say, stop that. We're not in elementary anymore. No one's judging you. Stop being hard on yourself. You're not in school. And love on yourself. So I would like to definitely say and close the space before going. If anyone else wants to share how these affirmations and what they take, what the takeaway is from today, or even share their journey with their inner child that they may have gone on at any time in the last 2 weeks. Yes, Miss Adams.
Well, for me, holding up the heart and the stomach, I always have trouble in terms of what I'm feeling or if I'm feeling anything. I get more from the affirmations themselves, from
Good.
pronouncing their affirmations.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So as you continue to do it, see how if you wind up feeling anything in those areas, it
Okay.
might lighten up those areas and create space for you to be able to feel in those areas.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Thank you. Miss Phyllis, I think you're off of mute. Did you want to share?
I'm good.
You're good? Okay. And I think we have Miss Taylor at work, so. Oh, we got Miss Taylor came in.
Hi, I'm now in a space
Hello.
where I can talk. So I just say this is not by accident for me to pop in today. I just had got the email 5 minutes before, and this is the perfect day. Like I said, today was my mother's birthday, who passed away in 2014, and it started off kind of sad and the grief. So I had a lot of emotions going on, and on top of that, just trying to heal from burnout from work as a social worker. And today it just balanced me. And starting with the drums, the first day I got kind of startled, but I felt myself feeling like I was calling in my ancestors of giving me that strength to continue that journey that I'm on to get to a balanced place. Um, and then also the ocean, I just imagine myself uh, floating and not fighting against waves, just floating and stillness. So it was rewarding for me. Just trying to, and it makes sense when you say the heart chakra of the drum, because that was my heart was desiring to feel my mom and just be in her presence, and I did feel that today, and just saw myself as a little girl and holding her hand like I always did when the wind chimes that came along, because that's what she had, wind chimes. She collected them. So it was perfect. Yeah, thank you so much. Affirmations, of course, it just, um, it, I felt self-love when I put my hand on my heart and my stomach, just to tell myself it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Yeah.
It
Yeah. So I
definitely
appreciate that. Thank
will.
you.
So thank you so much for sharing that. I wasn't sure when you put it in the comments whether she was still here or not, but I definitely felt her presence, and definitely felt the energy. So what is her name?
Mary Taylor.
Mary. Ironic. My mother's first name is Mary as well. That's beautiful. So I would like to definitely elevate her light and say Ibashe to your mother, Mary, and ask that she continues to lighten your path and support you on your journey on this beautiful day. because it's not by happenstance that you are here. So thank you for acknowledging that. And thank you for bringing her energy into this space, because I'm really big on ancestors reverence. You know, ancestor reverence is not something that we do in our culture because we were taught one thing. However, if you look in other cultures like the movie Coco, it is done and we can do the same as well. So I wanted to acknowledge her in this space. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. So if there isn't anyone else who would like to share prior to us going, I definitely want to put in the chat and to send you off with the affirmation if you don't have the chat and you're just writing down the notes, and saying that I am worthy, I am love, I am gentle, I am acceptant of love. I promise and dedicate time and space for self-love. I promise and dedicate time and space for self-love. Oftentimes we think that the time and space has to be just right. And sometimes that time could be in the middle of a crowded space with full of people where you can just tune in to yourself by holding your heart in your womb and affirming these simple things, especially if anxiety comes up, especially if grief comes up, especially if doubt comes up. So again, I send you off knowing that we are all love, that we are all worthy, we are all gentle, and we are all promising and dedicating the time and space to love ourselves. I appreciate each and every one of you. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. I know that we're coming up on 4th of July, Independence Day in this Gregorian calendar. So however you spend this time with your family, friends, remember to take out 5 minutes of reflection, of mindfulness, to just give yourself that self-love and to rebirth yourself again. Tap into your inner child, because we are all parts of ourselves, past, present, and future in this multi-dimensional space. So you are still your inner child, you are still your older self, your future self, and you are your current self. But we no longer hold on to the trauma of any parts of those selves. And we lovingly release them and accept them as experiences to bring us to who we are in the now. So we maintain this self-love, knowing that we have the power within us. So you guys continue to live the good life. Have a glorious, glorious 2 weeks, and I look forward to seeing you in our next session.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you.
When is the next date? The July,
July the 11th, I believe.
okay. Yeah.
July 11th, yes.
Okay.
And you should see it in your emails. Thank you, Miss Phyllis.
Namaste.
All right.
Thank you so much. Oops.
No
I didn't
problem.
mean to. I think we're still.